Now, as we talk about creativity principles today, I want you to understand that there are two types of creativity. And there's probably a mix in this room today, okay? There's one type of creativity that's like the dominoes falling. It builds on ideas, okay? Or it will take something apart. Anyone in this room, did you, when you were young, just kept taking things apart, breaking them down, redoing them, starting over, seeing if you could make something new? Well, that's called vertical creativity. Vertical creativity just kind of falls like the dominoes. An example of this is Chanel, Coco Chanel. Any woman in this room ever get Chanel number 5 for a gift? Yeah, well, Coco Chanel took apart the perfume and took the flower scent out, put it back together for Chanel number 5. So she was using this vertical creativity. Now let me describe the horizontal creativity, and then we'll have a little test here and see which you think you have. Okay, horizontal creativity is like this 8-ball. Oh, you get an idea in the shower, you get an idea driving down the road, and it's really off the wall. It's like no one else thought about this. You know, and it's like this 8-ball that's just bouncing back and forth, trying to find the right hole. An example of this is Levi Strauss. Now we all know the name Levi, right? Well, when that material was first built or put together, Levi Strauss took it to California to the gold rush, and he had a tent out of this. And he thought for sure that every gold miner was going to buy a tent out of his new material. But nobody wanted it. So he goes, how about pants? And he started to make Levi's. Now that's kind of an off-the-wall idea, you know, taking something from a tent to a pair of pants. So which do you think you are? Do you think you're vertical? Do you have vertical? Do you break things down? Okay, I've got a few hands going up. Are you horizontal? Okay, and the rest of you must be kind of a mix in there, right? Now, both of these are important because there's different innovation principles here. One of them is that you have this revolutionary idea, this idea that just like the 8-ball that's bouncing back and forth, it's a revolutionary, disruptive idea. Those are kind of tough to come up with, aren't they? Have a totally new idea. Then you have an evolutionary innovation, meaning that you change the present products and make new applications to them. And then you have efficiency innovation. You're just trying to improve the products and services that you have. So do you see, as you plan your meetings, you use all three of them? Do you see how all three of them are important to you? And how they can play out as you work through all the plans, all the details that you need for your meetings? Let me give you a little example of this. Velcro was actually birthed when a man was walking through a field and got burdock burrs all over his socks. And he'd go, wow, that's interesting. You know, they stick to my socks. And so he began experimenting and came up with Velcro. Now, let me jump forward just a little bit to, I'd say, the 60s. And Victor Khayyam, I don't know if you remember Victor Khayyam, but Victor Khayyam was the man whose wife gave him a Remington shaver. He'd never had an electric shaver, and he thought it was so fabulous that he bought the company. That was in 1978. But before he bought the Remington company in 1978, he worked for Lever Brothers. And he had a friend who was always coming up with some off-the-wall concoction or whatever. So he was having lunch this one day with his friend, and the friend pulled out of his pocket a toothbrush with a tube of toothpaste on the bottom. And you just, used that toothpaste and, kept squeezing it. When it was all gone, you just threw it away. And Victor Khayyam looked at him and said, I don't work for Lever Brothers anymore. I work for Playtex. And this man's eyes got huge, and he says, Playtex? Boy, do I have the stuff for you. And he pulled out Velcro. So Victor Khayyam took Velcro back to Playtex. They played around with it for 4 or 5 months and said, I don't think we can use this. Is that not amazing? Do you see what was happening? There was a revolutionary idea, but there was no evolutionary innovation there. There was no one had the vision to see all the applications for Velcro around them. Does that make sense to you? Now Velcro's everywhere, right? I thought it was such a blessing when my child could actually put their own shoes on and fasten them with Velcro. So you want to be able to use all three of these in your organization. And probably people will have different skills in this level. Can you look at the team that you're working with and see that they have different skills in these areas? So if you look at your team and you see that they have different skills in this area, then what do you want to do? You want to make sure they get the right assignment for what fits their natural skills. Now, creating similes and metaphors, this is one thing I love, okay? And there's different ways that you can use the similes and metaphors. Number one, you can use them to just explain what's happening, because what a simile or a metaphor does is put something that you don't understand with something that you do understand. So if I was asking you to just give me ideas about what it's like running a business in 2013, I could get answers like, it's like going out to get honey out of the hive with no protective gear. It's like shaking a can of Coke and then opening it. It's like riding in New York City in the back of a taxi with no brakes. So there you're comparing what it's like to run a business today to something that you kind of feel at an organic level. So you'll see on your tables there's several little things in a plastic bag, right? What I want you to do in that plastic bag is take them out, look at the little things, pick one of them, and say, how does this apply to my business? You know, how can I write a metaphor? How can I write a simile for this business? And then, of course, you know what we're going to do. We're going to have you report back, right? What is your name? Pam Reisinger. Will you stand up, please? Show them what you have.
I selected the top, the little spinning top, and it reminded me of some of the things that we've implemented recently, and you kind of take a spin on it and see how it balances and see how it flies. If it falls over, if it keeps going, and what works and what doesn't.
Isn't that wonderful? Give her a hand. So, next we have, you're going to share here.
Bob Joyce. I said, have a ball. Can't have fun work. Why do it?
Exactly. Thank you very much. And you wanted your whole table to know that, right?
Well, don't we all have the same products?
What?
Don't we all have the same products in our bag?
Yeah, you do. Well, some of them are a little different. Go ahead and tell them.
We have the rubber band.
Stand
and,
up.
We said be flexible like a rubber band.
Important, isn't it? Okay, next.
Alright. I picked up this, I think it's a Chinese marble or glass something, but it looks like a rock, so we said to stay focused and solid like a rock.
Good, good. Next.
Hi, I'm Kenna Williams, and I have the eraser. It just says that mistakes are okay, and if you mess up, you can start again.
Excellent. You want to share? Okay, do you want to share?
I had a little
Go ahead, stand up.
I had a little rubber bouncy ball, and I said it's always good to bounce back. And
Yeah.
I said life is like a little car. You have to keep going as fast as you can, but you have to stop and refill sometimes or you'll run out of gas.
Good, good. Thank you.
This one because it's so sparkly. When you're in Las Vegas, you're sparkling every day. So what we do is you put a sparkler in your eyes, and you always put +1 service to your client.
Little toy here. This is you get these little balls in here, and you try to get them into the little. I can't do it. But I likened it to getting all the people in the right places at the right time, and it's really hard to do.
Excellent, thank you.
Well, I picked this because I work in a destination management company. So we have all type of budgets from clients that stay at any type of resort and that have very different agendas. So we kind of take the shape of our clients and tailor the events for them.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. So can you take this idea of the similes and metaphors back and use them? And I guess my English majors are saying, you know what the difference is between a simile and a metaphor? A simile is when you say like. This is like. Where a metaphor is just saying it is. So if you said life is a banana, then what does that mean? Well, life is a banana because bananas start out a little green, very firm, and then they get liver spots and get soft. So, okay.